This is CCS-TV, empowering voices, inspiring futures.
And welcome to CCS-TV. I'm Justin Gould.
And I'm Patrick Smeraldo from Collaborative Children's Solutions.
We are so excited to introduce to the community today our brand new studio in the heart of downtown Jamestown at the corner of 2nd and Spring Street here. As you're traveling down 2nd Street, you'll be able to see our wonderful facade as we really have continued this extension of Collaborative Children's Solutions into CCS-TV, which, kind of as a refresher for folks, Patrick, if they didn't know, kicked off last year during the Christmas parade, right before, when we tried to fill a need to say we wanted to be able to deliver that parade to those who couldn't watch in person, who couldn't come down to the parade ground. And we worked with students from Jamestown High School and Maple Grove High School who did an excellent job as our crew, alongside mentors that we have in the community, folks who know about journalism, who know about video and photography, and that, no pun intended, for the Christmas time, snowballed into summer here with the debut of our brand new studio here in downtown Jamestown. And CCS-TV, I think, is such a powerful new arm of Collaborative Children's Solutions, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure you've been doing for almost 5 years now.
Almost. It's getting there, yeah, it's up there, sure.
For the community, the idea is we're going to be inviting students in from all across Chautauqua County to come in and learn what it's like to work in a professional broadcast studio.
Yes.
We want to give them hands-on experience in studio and in the field too, which I think is a big part of it. We've already done that through our Turn the River Green, our Memorial Day. Chris Herron, we did an interview with Harrison Phillips as well. And we want youth to be able to expand on some of the media projects that they're already probably working on.
Sure.
I mean, I know we've talked about, you and I have talked about that greatly. Everybody today is on their cell phone.
Yep, absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Everybody's got
They're the driver of that one,
a camera. And I think there's no better way to connect with your community than giving them a TV platform where we can have discussions. And we can do everything from news to interviews to reality to musical performances. I think the sky's the limit with this. So coming up next Saturday, this coming Saturday, we're going to have our first club meeting for CCS-TV, where we will be inviting everybody from the community, students, to come in and just check it out. If you have even a little bit of an interest in broadcasting or in media, we really want you to come in and at least tour what we have to offer, learn about who we are, what we're doing. And I think this is something we really want to grow just beyond a summertime activity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a you know, the way you describe it is exactly right. It's a club opportunity, something to do through the summer. You know, we've talked about this. We envision this maybe being a once-a-week thing, maybe a couple times, of really, the kids nowadays have this tremendous knowledge of video and TikTok and all that, to learn from them and then sprinkle in some responsible use of it. But then again, to capture things that they're interested in the community is really important to us. And you know, next Saturday, get that going. It's been, like you said, snowballed. You know, we started with Christmas. That was incredible. I didn't realize how many people watched the Jamestown, New York Christmas Parade from around the country and the messages we got. And then a couple weeks after, they interviewed Chris Aaron, the kids from Maple Grove did, and Chris and his team were splitting it up on their Instagram page. And I called and said, hey, you know, and they were floored. They were like, those kids were incredible. We wanted to share it. Harrison Phillips said the same thing. And then to sit there at the airport, I think on April 8th is when it really set in. And I talked about that just the other day in a meeting where I was standing with Cam Milne and Vaughn, and to watch them while they're watching the solar eclipse and doing it live, and they're going bananas about it, that meant to me, and we spoke about it after, to us, this is something here that we can expand on and see it through their eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's that specifically was a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, we're not going to reduplicate the eclipse, but I'm so thankful that we were able to capture it and live stream it,
Yeah.
which is just incredible. And to see their instant reaction to it was so fun for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, just the channel's been up, you know, for
Yeah.
a couple months now, and we have some following and a bunch of following actually.
Yeah.
And I've had people watch it, and you know, they've commented on the different things we've done. You know, with Harrison at the games, and when we put Cam and the county executive in the airplane, you know, people have like, I said, I don't know, we just had this opportunity to do it, and we just threw a camera on the plane with them, and they were. You know, at one point, Cam Milne's flying the plane. And so those things that we've been able to do so far, and go back on the pun, the sky's the limit, right? Like we can do anything. And it's important to me, it really is important to me that this is utilized as another opportunity for them.
Right.
It's important to me that this studio is in downtown Jamestown. I have been doing some projects here with the city now for a couple years now. And the kids are downtown. Let's draw them in. Let's see what they can do, and let's showcase our city and our county. Yeah.
And there's no sense of when people talk about just the digital world sometimes pulls us apart from our community, right? Everybody's on social media.
Yep.
We have this global conversation, and you sometimes lose that sense of your neighborship, right? You're knowing your neighbors. And I think this will help that here in Jamestown, New York, and Chautauqua County, bring that together, because that was one of the many reasons I became a journalist, was because I wanted to learn about my community.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell their story and make it a better place in the end, right? And there's no better way to help than to provide information and make it accessible to thousands of people in an instant. So I think CCS-TV is going to really evolve into an incredible opportunity for kids who are, 12, 13, 14 years old.
Yep.
I was 12 when I first interned at a local radio station, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, was work in media. And if you already have an interest, this is my message to our community, if you already have an interest, just come in. It's hard because we're in a digital world. It's sometimes hard to come in and connect with people. But I think there's so much knowledge to share.
Yes.
And we as a team will work together to tell the stories. And our first meeting coming up on Saturday, I believe will be really great introduction to what we have to offer. But from then on, really, the driver's seat is going to be in our students.
Yeah.
And saying that, hey, if you have a project idea, you could do whatever you'd like. And we have the means, the facility, and the skill to do it. I was just joking before with you. We're going back and forth about whether we should actually have some books, some physical things, because that's what I learned a lot of hands-on just by doing, right? Running around, but being able to learn about how do you frame a shot, how do you shoot your footage so that you can edit it properly later on. And all of that material, I've talked to some of my friends in the media industry right now who are producers and news directors, reporters. I think a lot of our students could get a job out of high school.
Oh, absolutely.
I truly believe it.
Absolutely.
I know there's one student already who is a volunteer mentor with us who works at Channel 2.
Right.
He's 20 years old, and he's a photographer at Channel 2. Like Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean,
the opportunities that, and we have some built-in, we've talked about this, we do have some built-in projects coming up, talking about, concerts at Allen Park for celebrate kids' music with the municipal band. Talk about the Gus Macker. Christmas in July is coming up. The Labor Day Festival. Those projects we have and we're going to continue to do that allows the kids to hone their skill, but I also want to hear back from them once we get this base established. What do you want to do? Like in the fall, when you go back to your schools, is it your musical? Is it a story within your school? Is it, I just met the other day, and this is another facet that I plan to open up to, a ton of businesses, right? I met with the Education Coalition the other day, and I stressed that they can put out pamphlets and things like that on the creation of their business and to try to draw children who will once be employees or anything to their business. But come here and sit with the kids and broadcast what your business does and what they may be looking for in potential employees and things like that, and expose that. Maybe we could go on site in some things, right? Yeah. And that's what I was saying, like if you, this is a huge opportunity for the industry in Chautauqua County as well, because video goes all over. Number one, we have 25,000 or so hits. We've talked about that. But with the businesses, when you put out a pamphlet, you could capture maybe 4 or 5 sentences of what you do. But when you spend an hour with the children telling them or bringing them on site and having them capture the video of what you do and the integral parts of your business and the company and the different types of jobs, you may pique an interest in a child who then says, I want to do that. I didn't know that was a part of that business. Maybe there's a future for that in me. So I mean, it serves a purpose in both ends.
Yeah, I think it is multifaceted, where we're teaching the next generation of broadcasters, but at the same time, we have such a unique opportunity to broadcast to the community as a whole, and we already have. I think through our events, Christmas, Memorial Day. I know coming up, Gus Macker, I think will be a big one that's just beyond general families, which we generally target with our programming.
Sure.
So I do think that there's a huge opportunity for partnering with businesses in the community and a really strong canvas to move forward, right?
When you mention those,
what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. When you mention those events, I mean, I go back to a moment when we did the solar eclipse and the young lady joined us from Gainesville, Florida. And we talked to her about, she had gone to the Comedy Center and she'd been to the Swamp for Wings and all that stuff. That was all great. Yeah. But the Gus Macker is an event that last year drew people to our community from Georgia, Canada, Michigan, and it's also a platform to show our community what could be created. But it's, and the kids to see what can be created. That's the biggest part for me is, to be honest with you, is to open up a new, unique opportunity. I will tell everybody, and he's going to get embarrassed. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I have learned a ton from Justin about how he started at 10 and 12 and broadcasting the Christmas parade on his own and things like that. And Justin had, he had some help along the way and made promises to give back. To me, that type of a niche, a spark. I always talk about that when I speak to groups and things. We all have that aha moment, right? And maybe we can create 1 or 2 aha moments. I don't need 100. No. Like Chris Herron, Chris is great about always saying, just need 1. Yeah. That's all I want is 1. And just to, whether it's journalism, editing, filming, whatever, or maybe you learn something new about your community or a business, an event around here, and you take that path, but you wouldn't have found out about it without taking this path first. So
absolutely, and I think that being able to provide that experience with the high-tech amount of stuff that we've invested in, I got to thank you for, because all of my knowledge, which I'm blessed to have from a number of people who are my mentors and who have helped me along the way, and that I think is an important part of life, right? Is saying that you're ready to be able to pay it forward, right? And help someone who doesn't maybe know that this is what they want to do.
Correct.
Because I didn't know that this is what I wanted to do.
Right.
I just thought that it looked cool watching the Today Show at 10 years old. And I'm a huge Hoda Kotb fan, and I still watch them every day.
Sure.
And it's like, when you look at that just kind of, hey, what is behind the camera? That's something that we can give and we can display. You know, we're using Blackmagic video equipment for our studio, just to let everyone know. And I know we have some B-roll that we can show, and we'll be teaching our students about that terminology, like what is B-roll, right? What is an interview? How do you prepare an interview? This is a live switched interview is what this is called, where we have multiple cameras. And we're switching back and forth. And we will go from A to Z, from filming in the field to recording some things in studio, to editing them in our in-house editing booths, to being able to broadcast live. And I think that for me, my goal would be to have a core group of students who can start this when they're 10, 11, 12, and we can grow this. And every month we meet and we film some sort of topical interview, some sort of feature, and they come up with the questions, which we've already noticed. They have hard-hitting questions. I mean, this is good stuff, like really good young journalism that they've done with the county executive and the mayor of Jamestown.
Those are things that people, that there are some, with the kids and with the project, the one thing I've really wanted to stick to is, this is not me asking them what I want to know. This is you. And in those situations, whether it's Mayor Eklund, County Executive Wendell, when I'm sitting in the corner of that interview sweating profusely as the questions are coming in, and I don't look at the questions, or when the kids from Maple Grove look at Harrison Phillips, who now plays for the Minnesota Vikings, said the first question out of their mouth is, "What food do you miss about Buffalo, New York?" He thought that that stuff is incredible. Chris Herron asked me after, "Where'd you get those kids?" And I said, "They're just school kids that we turned loose on you." And he said, "They were awesome." And it was just the questions that they come up with and what they want to know. I worked with Chris for 3 years. I know a lot about him. I worked with Harrison. I never knew what what food Harrison missed. I mean, it seems odd, but that's what they wanted to know. And I think that's magical, to be honest with you. I think that's great.
Absolutely. So if you have any sort of interest in our community, it doesn't matter how young or how old you are as a student, parents invited to join us for CCS-TV clubs. Head on over to CCS-TV.com and follow us on social media. Just search CCS Television for more information, as we'll be having these reoccurring meetings to introduce students into broadcasting, to grow their skills, and turn them into the future Walter Cronkite.
That's the hope. I mean, the hope is, we'll have a link that they can fill out. If the hope is that next Saturday, the 15th, we have to have another meeting because we have so many people, right? We'll have to reach out to people and reschedule it. But that's an opportunity to cover, like you say, the sports.
That'll be big.
Any event we've done, which with the kids after, when we talk to them, hey, can we go do a girls flag football game? I'm like, sure. Yeah, we have the equipment. Let's just go. So those things that they forecast or foresee are what I'm really excited about, and to get to work with the kids. I love to work with the kids and to see them take a project and roll with it. And we've been very fortunate, as far as some grants that we've been received, and we've targeted them and tried to target them into really unique opportunities. And this is about as unique as it gets. I mean, there is nothing like this that exists in our area, and we hope to broaden it,
Absolutely. And I think just for parents out there, just so that they know, we are fully mentored and all of our volunteers are, I'd say they're media professionals. And you're an educator, a professional educator, your wife is as well. So we really do take safety and security as a big aspect of what we do at all of our events. And anytime we're out filming, so it's not just, hey, kids can come in and do whatever they want. It's very structured, but I think that's the idea, is we teach them about media ethics and responsibility, and something I know that the state has even been pushing and saying this is what we're wanting to do. So this is the right time. I think this is the right place, no better place than your hometown, Jamestown, New York.
Yeah.
Why not?
And
right?
we've had some conversations with some, with some political figures
Yeah.
of man, this is really like groundbreaking
Yeah.
what you guys are doing, and they want to see this. I mean, to just open kids' eyes, I guess, to what's around them, and I hope to have fun with it. I was just thinking today, I was out doing some stuff, and my mind wanders a little bit, and I think, wouldn't it be neat to have like a once a week or a couple times a week if kids film their own thing with
Yep.
their own phone at home and send it to us, and we brought it to you, and just like hey, maybe you're not with us, but it's a TikTok or it's a story of something that's going on in their school.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is we've been fortunate now to interview county executive, the mayor, professional football players, professional national speakers. I want to know maybe their 7th grade history teacher. They want to talk to him and get his or her backstory or something like that. Like I've talked to companies that we've been talking about. Send me your nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
I don't need the CEO of the company. Send me your nurse practitioner. I want to put her in a chair, and I want a kid to ask her, why did you do this? What are the goods? What are the bads?
Yeah.
And open a kid's eyes to being a nurse practitioner, possibly. That's it.
It's those everyday stories, those common heroes
Yes.
like that I think make the most difference. That was one thing I always preached in news was, it's great to hear officials speak.
Yeah, it's great.
But what does this mean to the average Joe? And I've noticed that most of our students, that's their question line up is, what does this boil down to?
Sure.
Which is the most pure and for me the most fun to see become a reality.
Right.
In interviews where you talk to Harrison Phillips.
Yeah.
And how are you missing those buffalo wings?
Sure.
Is the first opening.
Yeah.
And he was shocked.
He
I
was
think
stunned. And when I was just with Harrison last Saturday, and I met with him, and I went to his camp, and I worked his camp, and he's the sweetest guy ever. I have an announcement to come up soon where we're going to be doing some more stuff with his organization. But when you look at the other things involved in that, I mean, I'll joke, I worked in a bounce house for 3 hours, and Harrison and the newest Buffalo Bill, Gable Stevenson came through. He was there with Harrison because they've developed this friendship. But I also worked with a young girl from 18 who was from Frontier volunteering, and I got to know a little bit about her and why she does what she does with the kids and things like that. Those are the things. We're 50 feet from where the studio is from Jamestown Police Department.
Yep.
Tim Jackson, Chief Tim Jackson and Deputy Chief Forster, probably 2 of the finest gentlemen we've ever had lead our police department in this city. But there are a bunch of great female and male officers that work for them. We probably have more female officers right now than Jamestown's ever had at one time. Yeah. And they have some incredible stories. They're incredible people who do incredible things with kids on a daily basis that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
Maybe they can spark the interest in children to turn towards police work or crime work. That's what I'm hoping that comes from this, is to every job and every adult in the planet that works has a bad part of their job. Everybody does. But there are also a lot of positives from it too. Sometimes we focus so much on the negatives, we don't emphasize on the positives to draw people into that field. And that's a necessity that we need to provide. Yeah. It really is.
It will, and I know that this will come to fruition. So as a community, please join us for CCS-TV as we are going to empower voices and really inspire futures. I can't wait to be able to work with our next generation of broadcasters, and want to thank you, Patrick, for making this possible.
I get so excited about projects, but watching you get excited about this project and giving back and giving, you don't know how many hundreds of hours this gentleman has already volunteered for this project, and when I do projects, I go to an event and I see how excited Harrison Phillips, and that excites me. Yeah. But to work alongside of you and learn from you, and I joked with a bunch of people and said, we spent some hours down here doing some things, and I kept going home, and my wife's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, we're putting this up and we're doing that. And I looked up one day and he said, I just said he built a kids TV studio, is what he did. I mean, he pieced it together piece by piece, and it's a jewel on 2nd Street in Jamestown. We don't have to go to Buffalo.
No.
We don't have to get permission slip signed and do all those things and get a bus. It's right here. And, you know, with the use of video and stuff like that, we can communicate with kids and schools and things like that. We have the ability to do so much. And Zoom, you know, I want to Zoom with people. I want to go to training camps. I want to take these kids and show them some incredible things that they may have thought were out of reach. I thought were out of reach. And give them an experience, and hopefully we can cue them up to do something.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Yeah, so do I.
Learn more at CCS-TV.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and our Roku channel as well, which is a big part. Whether you're one of our students, a parent, or someone in the community who's just looking for some good community programming, please check us out. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on CCS TV. For Patrick Smeraldo, I'm Justin Gould.
This is CCS-TV, empowering voices, inspiring futures.